And another season of the NBA on ESPN is underway.
Let's go!
Curry for the record.
We have a liftoff.
Leonard aggressive.
It's Bucks.
Oh.
Bucks Celtics game one of this Eastern Conference semi matchup. The Celtics are riding pretty high. I don't know what Jaylen Brown is wearing.
What are you talking about? That looks fire.
Nah, it's like cold.
Yo, we're 60 seconds in. You already
Weird.
hating on my boy.
Anyways,
Giannis
is
kept it
this the
simple.
year that the Celtics reach the finals? Giannis and company will have something to say about that. The defending champs come into this.
I dare you to
as
say something bad about
underdog.
that fit.
He looks good. Is he wearing Crocs? What's on his feet?
What of it?
I don't like that T-shirt under that sweater though.
Yo, you're a hater.
Anyway, it's gonna be a fun one. It starts in just 30 minutes in Bean Town. Before that happens, you gotta watch Hoop Streams. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the ESPN app. Exactly. Thank you for watching Hoop Streams. Christine Williamson, Gary Striewski, Skubie Mageza here. Guys, I mean, this is gonna be a fun one. I'm pretty excited about this one.
This is going to be the best semifinal series of them all.
Thank you, Gary.
I'm just going to get ahead of it, and I'm probably going to say later on in the show, I think the winner of this series is going to win the NBA Finals. I don't know if it's a bold prediction, but
I feel like that's a bold
that's
prediction.
kind of where I'm at.
You know, you wouldn't be wrong for saying it because these are two of the three best teams in the NBA right now with the way that they're playing. Giannis, the defending champ, you got to put some respect on that. And then Boston, sheesh, they've been the best team in the NBA ever since the new year. So we know how they've been.
Okay, well, why don't you make a case for Boston winning this series?
Okay, 3 reasons is why I think Boston will win. Chris Middleton, Celtics defense, and Jason Tatum. Because when you look at Chris Middleton's absence from this team, it's a huge hit. The dude does it on both the offensive and defensive end. And when you talk about him going against the Celtics in the playoffs, Beantown hates seeing this guy against the Celtics. I mean, he shoots nearly 55% from the three-pointer. That's the highest field goal percentage for any player against a single team in the playoffs. So when you talk about getting buckets against the Celtics, that's him. So having him out is going to make things easier for this Celtics defense, which is already elite. And then when you look at the defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart with them, they have a bunch of different players that they can throw at Giannis the same way they did at KD. That's going to make things difficult for him. And then Jason Tatum. Dude, just look at him. 29.5 points per game, nearly 5 rebounds, 7 assists. He's been playing like the best player in the league. So, listen.
Do you believe
Celtics.
Was that a compelling case?
It was a pretty solid case. I feel like
on a scale of 1 to 10.
I
10
feel like
being
I would
the
give it
most
like
compelling?
a 7.
It's pretty good. And nothing that you said in that argument is really wrong. And it pains me that I have to, kind of go against the Celtics. Spent 5 years living there. I love going to games, love the team, love the way that we've seen them literally grow up before our eyes and turn into superstars. The one reason I would say that Milwaukee still has a chance, and it really is a coin flip to me, even though Boston is a 5-point favorite in this game. Chris Middleton is out, but you know who isn't? Giannis, right? And over the last couple of times that these teams have played, they have literally not been able to contain him, stop him from scoring, and that's point blank period. We can get into the numbers a little bit later. And yes, Chris Middleton is out, and he makes up that collective big three that Milwaukee has in Giannis, in Middleton, and in Drew Holiday. But the way Bobby Portis and Grayson Allen have stepped up in that absence, and Milwaukee's been able to sort of piecemeal this thing together. And Bobby Portis and Grayson Allen were coming off of playoff career highs in that 4-1 win series against the Bulls. So, I mean, even Middleton being out, the Bucks really didn't lose a stride. And as long as you have that guy holding it down in the center of things offensively and defensively, you can't count out the champs until you can count out the champs. And that's why I think this is going to be a coin flip of a series. And I think it's going to go the distance.
I would give you a 7 on your argument also.
Thank you.
Giannis's shot will be brick. Right?
Jesus,
that
is so bold.
My team going to the chip. Celtics in 6. Celtics in 6.
Raised in Boston will be brick. I cannot believe this came out your mouth.
Raised in Boston. You got to take that with a little grain of sand, all right?
We will talk about that more with my good sis, Monica McNutt. Sure. That's later. But first, the first round of the playoffs is over. So we're going to look at some memorable moments that we saw in the first round. There were some good ones, and we start with how fun the Grizzlies were.
This was awesome.
I mean, Usher and Ja's dad twinning.
I wonder.
But not the chains,
Look,
though.
hey, Kawhi's
Why
there
couldn't
too.
Usher let him get a chain?
You say, you remind me of my dad. Like, they look the same. Dang.
The only way you
Ja-
can tell them apart is the chain.
But then
The
the players hitting the Grizzly, which Gary can do. I've seen him do it on TikTok.
Hey,
I guess.
hit it for me one time, real quick, Gary. Come on, man.
Stand
No,
up, man,
please,
I'm tired.
no. It was interesting. Giving his jersey to giving his jersey to Kat's dad. Okay, so there are a lot of fun things. I mean,
Yeah.
this team is so young and they're exciting to watch. How much fun is it to watch this team?
They're young, they're fun, they have nothing but green pastures to play for. They don't feel the pressure because they've never been in this situation before. So
Right.
everything right now that they're doing, they're playing with house money, and which is why the Grizzlies-Warriors series is going to be the most fun out of the West.
Speaking of the
Agreed.
Warriors, Draymond Green playing dodgeball. Dodgeball with his
Oh,
teammate.
man.
Bro,
Like, bro, this guy
What?
just came back from injury. What are you
let's
doing?
injure him again.
Hey,
That's play.
Gary, he's just making sure his head's in the game.
that's true.
That's all he's doing.
about to be out of it.
He did something very similar to Otto Porter Jr.
Hey, that was a heads-up play,
What's
man.
Draymond doing, bro?
Look at Draymond, too. Pretending like that's Otto Porter's fault.
Move your head.
Pretending like he's
goodness.
literally not playing, like running the play that Coach Kerr literally just called. No reason Otto Porter's flashing up unless he was told to do so.
He's like, come on, bro.
You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
The heads-up play.
Take a look at wishing Joel a happy holidays.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, that's JoJo embellishing the love from the Toronto.
At least he
faithful.
didn't hit him with the Kyrie Irving with the.
He already saw what
Give
happens
us something
when
to
you
talk
do that.
about.
He already saw what happens when you do that. Obviously, he's not as sensitive as Kyrie is. Okay, let's talk about Alvarado versus Chris Paul.
This was disrespectful.
I love this, actually. You want to know why? I just
What?
love pesky
Yes.
players.
The thing about this matchup, though, was post-game, Alvarado was like, yeah, Chris Paul, he's going to remember my name. And then it cut to CP being like, yeah, the avocado, avenado. I don't know if it was a bit. I don't know if he had just heard him talk on the
Oh, he
mic.
knows about him. Come on.
Exactly.
It's one of those, like, you don't want to give credit to somebody that's
Facts.
being good
That
for
put the
being
clamps
annoying.
on you.
Like,
Right, exactly.
That's the thing. It's like that person on the court when you're running pickup. They're trying way too hard for the moment of that game. And it's like, chill out, bro. But
That's the reputation you have around here, bro. Just
Yeah, I
putting
mean,
clamps on.
Yeah.
put in 100 all the time.
On the court, bro, on the court.
Next, we have our good friend Drake giving some words of wisdom, or just, I don't know, trying to foretell the future to
Really?
Embiid.
Is that what he said?
If you didn't hear that, Drake said that, told Embiid that he was going to get swept by the Heat, which I love. I actually love this version of Drake. I don't
Which
know
version?
why. I don't know this version.
Like braided hair.
Braided hair,
Yeah, like
exactly.
I like that version of Drake.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. He's had a couple of different versions. He had the heart haircut
Yeah.
Drake, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Curly hair Drake. And
And his outfit was pretty nice
If
too.
Drake got freckles, it's over, huh?
Shut up. Anyways, let's move on to
You'd
D-Book
have to
and
do
Jay
that.
Crowder wearing a very special shirt.
hey, I would love to get some Gary shirts.
Those don't exist.
Top rope.
They were nobody is saying F Gary as he walked into the SportsCenter studio.
That would really hurt my feelings.
So I don't
But
think
look at the smile on Jay Crowder's face. Clearly, there's some joy being brought from the thought. So it could bring the same type of smile to you.
You think they're wearing that shirt if they lose the series? Of course not. So you throw it right back in their face. Love to
Right,
see
that's
it.
why they did it. Okay, so we're
Reverse
getting
troll.
you ready for Celtics taking on the Bucks in the first round, or in the second round of the first, The first game of the second round. That's what I'm trying to
Crushed
say.
it.
Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year in the building. I mean, he was pretty good in the last series. I don't know. Maybe he'll be able to be that. What's going on with his hair, though?
Yeah,
looks like
obviously, that's fly. What you mean?
Looks like a bushel of
No, it's
broccoli.
not.
Oh,
It's not.
you don't like the practice, like, I know what you're talking about, where you grow grow grass on the head dummy.
He looks.
Talk about a chia pet?
Yeah.
You should do that with your hair.
Green it up.
Yeah, if they win, you do that to your hair.
Marcus Smart, clamp time.
You know,
This is
speaking
gonna
of
be cool.
if they win, remember that guy that got the Boston Celtics champions 2022? Like, yo.
That's played out now.
Yo.
That's played out
Don't
now,
ever
right?
do
'Cause
that. It's not a
everybody
good
does
idea.
that. It gets hot on Twitter.
I'm gonna
once
do it. I'm
for-
saying,
for
but
a day.
hey, he might be right.
That's fine.
Okay, so it's the NBA offseason for some players, some big name players.
Somebody.
So we figured we'd take a look at what they're doing right now. And we start
we
with
know?
LeBron
We got
James.
cams on him?
LeBron James to see what he's doing right now.
All right, what do we
And
got?
he
All right, he's cooling.
is mad that Ja
You can't be mad.
and
though.
Brooks are doing the Grizzy.
He's on the beach right now.
I wouldn't be mad.
He brought his tequila.
He's
They're
looked
on
like-
the overwater bungalows.
He's got too much clothes on at the beach. for
I
my
will
liking.
say though,
You know what I mean?
we do know LeBron is watching every single playoff game because I get the notifications every time LeBron tweets, and he tweets about every single game.
Yeah, he hates the fact that he's out of the playoffs right now.
Yeah,
he's like, never again.
He's just trying to stay relevant, guys. Okay, let's talk about Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert.
Yeesh. Couple roommates about to break their lease.
I honestly thought we were going to see something with some bees or something.
Yeah,
because-
that's crazy. This dude is a full-time beekeeper, also and as well. I don't know, man, but
Full-time beekeeper.
this is gonna get ugly, man.
Rudy Gobert, he about to go somewhere else, and this is a breakup that
So
is
is
necessary.
are they at a counselor?
They might be.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. I was
Okay,
like, it
all right.
looks like they're getting some counseling, maybe.
Yeah.
That's necessary.
It looks like
They
Donovan
absolutely
was
need it.
tripping.
Oh no!
Hey, Trey Young, avid viewer of the show. I'm not gonna say a
Poor
single bad
Trigger!
word. I'm
I
not
love
saying
Trey.
a single bad word about
Trey,
Trey
I
Young.
love you. I didn't make this graphic
No,
either.
he said he's building up bread.
It was Joey G.
House.
He's over there.
The lifeguard.
Okay, but he did. Okay. Oh, KD, listen.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm
funny.
actually
That's
very
funny.
happy. I was going to say this the other day when I was on another show. I'm happy that KD is at least tweeting from his own Twitter account.
Straight up embracing it.
Yeah, like at least he's not doing it from a burner account.
I love it.
But we're
love
not
it.
surprised.
Yeah.
I feel like KD is going to be all over Twitter and social media the entire
Some people were
offseason.
mad at him for still tweeting after the loss.
Oh,
It's
look at
like,
the Joker.
what, are you mad at him? Oh, the joke. He's getting a lot of money. And,
That's a weird picture of
It,
him.
it looks like me yelling at Call of Duty when somebody shoots me and I shot them first, but I still died. Like, what is going on?
Be
That's
like
why I
that
never play those
sometimes,
games.
Man. But the dude's got a bag behind him. Is he going to get another extension? I don't know. He wants to stay in Denver. He will stay in Denver.
Do you want him to stay in Denver?
Yeah. Everything goes through him. Jamal Murray's going to be back healthy next season. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be back healthy
Yes,
next season.
yes.
Denver's going to be a problem. I know. Let's not put the cart in front of the horse.
All right, my cousin.
Zion.
What's my man's doing
What is he
parkour
doing?
for?
Well, he's about to get injured. That's literally what's happening. He's immediately
She said
injured.
he's
Brandon
about to
Ingram
get
over there. Why is he in a suit? I'm unsure, but
Yeah, 'cause
he's
like-
obviously just watching his. Is he crying?
I think
Also, is that a real picture of Ja? Because if not, then this Photoshop is absolutely amazing.
it's pretty good. My man's
the
just doing
Zion one
parkour.
it looks like it's a, I don't know, that's really
This
interesting.
is not a good idea, though, off of the heels of him being asked if you got offered a Supermax extension, would you sign it to stay in New Orleans? He was like, yeah, I wouldn't be able
That's
to sign
him
it
running
fast
to go
enough.
sign it.
Yeah, guess what, bro? Because you played 80 games in 3 seasons, so you better hope someone's going to pay you next year.
But I brought this up
This
before.
joker going to be 120% healthy.
He's played
All right.
more games than Joel Embiid did his first couple of years.
It's fine. He'll be fine. That's my cousin. Don't talk bad about him either. Let's
Yeah.
go to the final player. We don't know who exactly it is.
Oh,
my God.
dude, wait, what? Are we allowed to show this on the
Who
internet?
is that? Paul Bunyan?
Dude, are we even allowed to show this?
Can
Do
you
you
tell us
remember
more
when I
about this?
responded? Do you remember when I responded to this, G? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I sure do. Hey, wait,
hilarious.
hey, Scoops, I didn't see that comment. That's messed up, man. Are you
That
kidding
is
me?
hilarious.
As soon as I leave
Gigi, you
here,
want to tell us what this is from?
this
Gigi,
is.
you want to tell us what this is
Can,
from?
yeah, can you
I can't
give us
talk-
context?
I feel like I know.
I can't talk about it right now. All right, all
my
I know
Lord.
is that after this show, these hands that are just full of calluses. You see that?
I don't see it.
You
I
see
don't-
those
I don't see
calluses?
it. Yeah, I
Got to
know
go
what
get
you're
more
talking about.
calloused up as soon as this show's over.
Hey,
Anyways.
was your DMs on fire after you posted that pic? Tell me more.
No, dude. The only people that are in my DMs are people who are like, Gary, Will you come on my podcast and just talk about?
What are you talking about?
You want to come on my podcast and talk about the Red Sox, dude? I'm like, nope.
You don't get women in your DMs
No.
telling you look good. That's a lie.
No,
That's cap.
My friend literally DM'd you. Anyways, you're watching Hoop Streams. They're live on Facebook,
have
Twitter,
to check
YouTube, and the ESPN app.
it.
You know what I'm talking about. I don't.
Gary's doppelganger is Mario Lopez.
All right, as we
let
get
the
ready
people
for
know.
That's a
game
fact. That's a
one
fact.
between the Bucks and the Celtics, the teams split the season. The teams split the season series at 2 games apiece. Jaylen Brown and the Celtics looking dominant in their opener against the Nets. No Middleton, but the Celtics D will have their work cut out for them as they look to try and stop the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's all coming up in just a little
Oh, you're
bit.
talking about Max.
All right, guys, the NFL draft ended yesterday. So we figured we would draft some NBA players based on the players that are still left in the playoffs, and you guys just pick a starting 5.
That
Matt,
makes sense
let's
to
do
me.
it.
Okay.
Any
Let's do it.
questions, Scoobs?
No, I hope you have your starting 5 intact.
Currently, yes. Ask me again in like 10 seconds.
Okay, Gary, you want to go first?
Yeah, all right. I think with the first pick in our make-believe playoff draft with players currently left available, give me Chef Curry at the point. I mean, obviously, it makes total sense. This man was coming off of the bench and still contributing in a big way, and now this joker is dang near full strength. The Warriors, right now, the odds-on favorite to win the NBA Finals, and it's going to go through him. So, yeah, Steph running things. It
Okay.
makes obvious sense. Scooby, are you going to counter my point?
You know, I gotta agree with you because when the chef is in the kitchen, he's most definitely cooking up something hot. And Steph Curry being back at where he was, it seems like he's getting healthier with each game. It just makes his team even more dynamic. To come off the bench and basically score 30 points at will shows that he's a completely different type of human being. So the chef at number 1, Gary, well done at your first spot.
with
But
that.
for number 2, I'll make the next selection.
Okay,
I hope
sure.
we're on the same page about this. I'm going with the
Doubt it.
Don, Luka Doncic, because this dude is literally everything for this Mavs team and what he's able to do. They traded away Porzingis because they were like, hey, let's just go all in on Luka. Let's have this guy who controls the game at his own pace. No matter how fast you want to go, he takes the game to the level that he wanted to go. The step back, the trash talk, everything. Luka is the Mavs, and shoot, he's one of the best players in the NBA. The top 10?
I don't think that anybody can be picked wrong here in this spot, and people are going to get mad at me for not putting Ja in this situation. But I'm playing this merely off of like what the playoff ceiling currently is. So I would have put Devin Booker in that spot. He's coming off
Your twin?
Yeah, of course, exactly. So I kind of have like that connection with him. He's coming off of missing 9 days and missing the first couple of games in that series, the opening series against the Pelicans. He came back, shot 1 for 6, only had 13 points, didn't have to contribute in a major way, and that was the game that Chris Paul went 14 for 14.
Yeah.
Now he's back, should be 100%. This guy is one of the players left in the playoffs who I think can explode for 50 points on
That's a
any
fact.
given day. So I think his playoff ceiling is a little bit higher, but you can't go wrong with Luka, Devin, or Ja in that
So
team
who
spot.
do you guys agree that Luka should be there then?
Yeah, we'll keep him there.
Okay.
We don't want to make you work too hard. Jason Tatum at the 3. Right now in the Eastern Conference, he's
of
the
course.
best player going.
Of course.
He one-on-one single-handedly outplayed Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, the entirety of the Brooklyn Nets team. Everything right now, and I like the Celtics to come out of the Eastern Conference, and I'll take it a step further. The winner of this semifinal series, I think, is going to win the NBA Finals, and Jason Tatum right now is the hottest player in the Eastern Conference. Believe that.
Oh, yeah, that's a big fact. Because, as you know, Gary, we are both some Beantown people. We got some ties to the city. And to see this guy that they drafted basically become one of the best players in the NBA through their development, through their system, through Brad Stevens, and everything, it's been nice to see. Jason Tatum has really revealed himself as one of the best players in the NBA for sure. I think he's up there in that discussion. And I remember when LeBron James came to Boston and they were going against each other, and he posted a picture of him and Jason Tatum standing by the check-in, and he was like, yo, he's next up. And it's true.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum has really come into his own, and he shut down KD. It's a great two-way player, and I think he's definitely one of the best players.
He's here, but C-Dub, we spoke a little bit too soon, because I did say Jason Tatum was the best player remaining in the Eastern Conference, but the guy he's going up against, listen, you're the champion until you're not. All right, and I think
Facts.
we're going to agree with Giannis at the 4. He's the most dominant player left in the Eastern Conference, and he honestly outplays the Celtics. He has their numbers. They split the regular season series, did the Bucks and the Celtics, 2 games apiece, and nobody, and I'm talking nobody on the roster for Boston has held Giannis under 40% shooting at any level during any game. So again, Giannis is the Finals MVP and the defending champion until he's not anymore. He's obviously going to have to shoulder more load now that Chris Middleton is going to be out for at least the duration of this series, but all signs indicate that's going to be perfectly fine. He's done it before. He might do it again in this series.
I can't even argue. Giannis is definitely the most dominant player in the NBA. But another guy who has been really dominant, and I think we should put him at the center position, is Joel Embiid.
We're finally going to disagree, but go ahead.
Oh, we're going to disagree?
Go off, King.
Look at what Joel has been doing this entire season. Probably should be the MVP. You can argue what you want to say. It's either him or Jokic, but he has been separating himself and carrying this Philly team. The difference between how they perform when he's on and off the floor is monumental. So to have Embiid on the court at this 5 position makes this starting 5 elite.
He has a broken face.
And irrelevant, because how many points will he score in game 1 against the Heat? I can guarantee you
Good
0.
point.
He won't play any, and that's the reason why you need to put the Time Lord, Rob Williams,
The Time Lord
in the 5 hole. And listen, for some reason, my brain takes this roster to like, okay, yeah, maybe this team will come together and have to play like the Monstars for the freedom of the universe. Listen, I'm not putting him in the 5 hole for his offensive prowess. It's strictly defensive. He was the best ISO defensive player in the association. He was the best defensive player per 100 possessions in a game. So he is the anchor for the Celtics, and he couldn't have made it back at a better time now with the Bucks coming into town. Christine agrees. She's been sitting in silence, but she does agree with me.
I agree with that. I don't agree with all of this, but I'll let you guys have it. Anyways, Time Lord and his guys going up against the Bucks. That's tonight.
Defending champ. They've been there before. They've got the job done.
I don't know what Giannis is capable of, what he's done.
Very good team, great young players. It'll be a nice series.
Pool party! It's a pool party! Run it up, run it up. Nothing can stop me. I'm taking it there. I'm taking it there. It's gonna be a riot, that means quiet. I got the can of gas, I'm about to ignite.
All right, it's time for the main attraction.
Sure is.
Bucks, Celtics, game 1, round 2 of the playoffs. We got our good sis, Monica McNutt, joining us
courtside?
to talk about this.
There
And she got
she
the color block sweater. I see you, sis, looking cute as always. We love it. Let's start with the Celtics, because obviously they were the only team to have swept in the first round of the playoffs. They absolutely stifled Kevin Durant. Are they going to be able to do that to Giannis in this series?
So, hey guys, and I live in New York, so sorry if you hear a bunch of sirens. Everything's fine, I promise. Everything's fine. Are the Celtics going to be able to stifle Giannis Antetokounmpo the way that they stifled Kevin Durant? No, because if you just look at Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo, you're talking about 2 different builds, and Giannis is built to absorb multiple bumps as he cuts. His game is also different. However, do I believe that the Celtics got something for you when it comes to Giannis? Yes, and I think one of the things that is going to be intriguing to watch in this ballgame is the Celtics' willingness to take charges when Giannis comes down the paint with a head full of steam, right? Yes, Giannis has a tremendous complement of shooters around him, but he's going to have to be smart about when he decides to be an assist and setup guy versus when he wants to go and get a bucket.
I mean, you can only absorb so many hits until you're like, man, I'm tired of absorbing all these hits. So if you're saying the Celtics have a little something for Giannis, I think, McNutt, I know what you're going to say as it relates to trying to stop Grayson Allen, right, who's shooting 70% from distance in games 3 and 5. Even though we kind of laugh at that, he's got the hot hand. Does it continue against the Celtics?
Will it continue at that clip, Striewski? Probably not. Will he hit some baskets that are maybe momentum baskets or much needed in the course of this series? Yeah, no doubt about that. I think Grayson Allen is playing with tremendous confidence, and I had a chance to talk to him earlier in the season about what it was about the Bucks system that worked well for him. And he pointed out that Coach Bud is a descendant of the Spo tree, the same tree that Taylor Jenkins, who was his head coach in Memphis, came from. And so for him, there was already a lot of familiarity in terms of a lot of what the Bucks do offensively. He's going to be able to hit those shots or at least have those looks because Giannis is going to draw a tremendous amount of attention. Hold on, y'all. My computer about to die. Let me just put my charger in here. Okay, continue.
Don't leave us.
All right, so Monica, while you're trying to plug into your computer, a guy that's been drawing a lot of attention is Jason Tatum. Against Brooklyn, it was like his coming out party. Put KD in his place defensively and offensively. What's kind of been the thing that you think has really elevated his game to the next level over the playoffs?
I think it's the combination of what we saw on both sides of the ball. I think you're really hard-pressed to think through the playoffs and find someone who was so essential to his team on both sides and was able to answer the call consistently through a series. Now, granted, the sweep, the only sweep in the first round of the playoffs, gives you a smaller sample size, but when you look at the way Jason Tatum answered the bell, I think there's something to be acknowledged there. And so for me, as much as we praise this Celtics defense, I contend that the absence of Chris Middleton is going to be a bigger deal, I think, than people realize. Coach Bud talked about it. Middleton on defense is undersold and underappreciated. And so to me, if you have to pick your poison between Jaylen Brown, who has the capability of getting hot, and Jason Tatum, you need someone with Middleton's length to bother Tatum a little bit more. Now, Middleton probably will draw a lot of that assignment, as will Grayson Allen, and of course the Bucks will rely on their team concepts. But I just think that Jason Tatum is going to be a handful on both sides of the ball.
That's
Okay, so both of these teams were pretty evenly matched throughout the regular season, but they were never really at full strength. And you just mentioned it. Obviously, the Bucks don't have Chris Middleton. What do both of these teams need to do to get ahead in this series?
All right, so when I'm looking at the Celtics, everything is going to hang on their defense, right? And yes, you can hope to contain Giannis. You probably don't stop him at this point in his career. But I think that if the Celtics also can be present and dominate on the glass, right, like they get a chance to get defensive rebounds and get out and run, they in turn put the same pressure back on the Bucks. I think obviously they have. It's funny because earlier in the season we were like, do these two need to be separated? But now I think they truly understand the chemistry with which allows them to be successful. If Tatum is garnering a ton of attention and can't get his looks, he's willing to make the passes that are necessary. I think Robert Williams is going to be interesting to watch because Brook Lopez, has the ability to pull traditional bigs away from the basket. And when Coach Ime Udoka talks about some of the changes that they made with Al Horford and their defense at the turn of the calendar, allowing Robert Williams to just exist in the paint and not have to play pick and roll out in space was a big part of it. So that's what I'm looking at on the Celtics side. For the Milwaukee side, Giannis has to be smart. Like, he can't get into a bunch of foul trouble. Drew Holiday has to be able to hit shots. Grayson Allen has to continue to hit shots. I think Bobby Portis is a guy, also, we forget about his stretch four ability. But to me, again, it looks at some of that Brook Lopez matchup. Horford, Tatum, and Grant Williams are some of the guys that have the most statistics when it comes to guarding Giannis. Now, do they do it well? I mean, that's up for debate, but they are familiar with it and up for that challenge. And so if things get a little bit murky for Giannis, his supporting cast has to be willing to hit shots in a big way. Brook Lopez being able to hit shots from behind the arc and step away from the paint, I think becomes a big deal.
Who you got, I'm going to say tonight, and who you got for the entire series? And how many games is it going to go?
I have really been struggling as a basketball person not to be a prisoner of the moment and to put the series that both of these two teams just won in perspective, right? But y'all, I think the Celtics are up to something. Like, I really think the Celtics are up to something, and I think the Chris Middleton injury is going to be a bigger deal than people give it credit for. So, to answer all the questions, Game 1, I actually think the Bucks might get Game 1. But I think the Celtics are going to win. I think the Celtics are going to win the series.
Yep.
Okay. How many games? Is it going to 7?
Wrestling with it.
Is it going to be like the best playoff series in the playoffs this season? Like, what are we getting out of this one? 7 games?
So the problem for me is, as I was thinking through my selections last night, if it goes 7, I'm not. Oh gosh. If it goes 7, I think the Bucks might, do their thing. But I really think the Celtics get out of this series, y'all. So I think we're going to get 6 or 7 games for sure. I don't think there's going to be a big margin of error. It's going to be a really close series. Do I think this is going to be the best one yet? I actually think Mavs and Suns might give us some big time highlights, some big swings. So I'm not gonna say best yet, but really good, really good.
Okay, well, it'll be a good one. Monica, I'll see you on Tuesday. Yay!
Thank you, Monica.
Bye. Thanks. All right, who do you guys got? G?
Well, I think if we asked Monica those same exact questions 5 minutes from now, all of her answers will be different. It's that good of a series, right? I got the Celtics winning today. Jason Tatum going to lead the way. Celtics in 7.
Celtics in 6. I said it earlier on in the show. Giannis' shot will be brick.
So who wins tonight?
Celtics.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways.
What about you?
I am going to say, well, when Monty mentioned Bobby Portis, Bobby Portis is one of my favorite players. I'm going to go with the Bucks tonight.
See, here's the thing. You're choosing with your heart.
Do you want to know why?
Instead of your head.
He has a really great sweatshirt line, and his sweatshirts are really good quality. He gave me one.
Is that the one you're wearing right now?
No.
Is that why? Oh.
No.
All right.
He did not go to UCLA. Okay, thank you guys for watching Hoop Streams. Tune into Game 1, Bucks Celtics. Coming up next on ABC and the ESPN.
Time out before we leave.
Also,
tip of the cap. Blake Kelly is leaving our team.
Don't ever leave.
He is a brain behind the Hoop Streams operation. He is an integral part of our digital team. He's staying within the company, just going to a different group. He's not going to have as much fun.
He'll be tweeting the show.
He will be tweeting the links and be like, God, I can't believe I have to tweet
Blake
this.
is also a great golfer.
UConn legend, all right, Connecticut's own. Blake, thank you for all of your help, and Christine, you can kick
If you
him out
don't want to
now.
leave, you don't have to. But we know that you're going on to bigger and better things.
Love, dude.
Watch the game. Bye, guys.